Hi everyone, I'm David. In this video, I really just want to talk about the book Edgedancer by Brandon Sanderson and how it relates to the rest of the books in the Stormlight Archive, which it is a part of. So there will be spoilers in this video because I'll be talking about the events that go on in Edgedancer and these three books, all the way going up to the events of Oathbringer, which really really comes and leads up to mainly. I haven't personally finished Oathbringer, so we shall see what happens in the end there. So my opinions will probably be a little different from that. If you'd like to see a review of Edgedancer, please go check out my channel where I do that, and without these spoilers that are in this video. Let's get started. So, the world is very different from the East and the West. The kings aren't even aware of it, or don't even believe a lot of the things that happened with all the battling that's been happening in the East, and the whole desolations that have come, and the whole big enemy thing that has been come back because of their battle and their fighting over there. And so it's kind of really interesting to see the perspective of these people over in the West, and they're very different, and they do have battles of their own, but just to see how they react to all of this and how they come into contact with the storms as well. The land of Roshar really seems ununited, and the West seems very different from the East. And the East really has seen all these events firsthand, because you can't really forget how they doubted everything all the way up until this point, and they didn't really believe any of it until they actually saw it. And so you can't really blame the Western people, different peoples. And when I say Western people, there's so many different countries out there, so it's not all the West. There really are. There's so many countries out there, but all the countries out there are very, very different societies in the East. And so it's just really, they're all very interested and different in their own way, but they just don't, it makes a lot of sense how they don't understand what is really going on in the East and all the fighting. I really wonder how they're going to be able in the future to get together and confront these Voidbringers and other creatures that will be coming at them, and see how the world is which direction it will end up going. I personally really wonder if the country Azur will have problems with their paperwork when they have to do I'm sure they will, when they have to do anything about these battles, or if they need to unite with Dalinar in the East, and how much problems it's really going to give them. Because giving paperwork, maybe it'll be efficient and fast for all I know with the paperwork, because it seems to get a lot done in a sense if the right person writes it down, but it seems like it could be very complicated and really just messed up to get anything done, really. I really liked the development and finding out about Darkness and who he really is, Nail, and just knowing who these heralds are, and just kind of stepping back and thinking about, because they always looked back at the heralds as these grand people, and in a sense they could be, with all their justice and all, with Nail, the head of justice, but they're also kind of really different, and I don't know who really to think about them, really exactly. And I'm sure seems like to be very different from each other, and some might be more on the good side, or I don't know if some might be on the evil side for all I know. It doesn't seem like they should be, but some of the decisions they've been making obviously aren't really great decisions. I mean, it makes sense for them and with how they're trying to operate and to save the world in a sense, but it doesn't seem like they might not do the right decisions in the future. And I wonder if some of the heralds will actually go against each other. And what I really want to see actually is the heralds in battle, and how that works with their kind of power, and what their power is going to be like. And also, I'd like to see a Knights Radiant against them, because you always, in other books, you always hear the Knights Radiant as being the best figures in the land, and they're so much better. But when the heralds come, how is that going to be? And how different that's going to be, and are the heralds going to fight on different sides? And how is this all going to work out? and a unique character lift who's so much fun to read about. I really like how she developed in this book, and I'd really like to see her develop more in the future, because I think she has a long ways to develop. But in some ways, I feel like maybe she has developed more than some of the other Knights Radiant. And I actually would like to see, of course, I personally think that she'll probably take care of events stay in the West and just kind of help people out on the front that goes on there. But I'd like to see her in battle and fight, because you haven't really seen that with her. Is she going to do that? And how will she help? And what her abilities be like in an actual battle setting? I'd also like, though, to see her at some point meet the main characters in the East, the Knights Radiant, like people like Kaladin, and just I feel like if she met him, that the two personalities of the two of them would just clash, because they're very opposite extremes, and I don't know if they would want to listen to each other. Maybe she'd be a little better at that, it seems like, but I don't know. And if she met Delinar, I personally think that he probably would understand her in some ways, because the way he is. At least would try to. And she might take him in a better way, but maybe not, because he's very adult-like. So she might not even understand at all, for all I know. But I would like to really see is her kind of go against them in a fight. I know they're both on the same side, but I would really like to see, you know, who's really would be the better fighter. I would assume somebody like Kaladin, who's battle trained, would be the great fighter. But at least at the time right now, the end of this book, but I feel like if she really went into training, I wonder how she would be in the end, as far as the ability of Knights Radiant. And I know that she wasn't able to fly in this book, at least not yet. I wonder if she's able to fly, but then she has this unique ability to slick around, and would that give her an advantage in the other books? So I would really like to see more of this in the future, and her interact with the East. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I have others that you can check out, and so please subscribe and hit that like button, and I would like to see you next time. Thanks for watching.